Welcome to the Growing Your Business podcast. This is the show that dives into the big question, what's in it for me, for both the business and its customers? On each episode, we sit down with a business owner or leader to uncover their why, their values, and the stories that drive them to grow their business. This episode is sponsored by Russ Birch, commercial banker with Frost Bank in Plano, Texas. Joining me today on the Growing Your Business podcast is my friend John Ratley of Rooster General Contractors. How you doing today, John?
Good, man. How about you?
Very good. I want to know, what is Rooster General Contracting?
We're a design build firm. We're a boutique construction company focused around being a single point of contact for clients with complex needs.
Okay, so let's talk about complex needs. That's pretty broad. What does it mean to have a complex need?
That's a good question to ask. A complex need is something as simple as saying, I need to be able to live here while you're doing the work. It can be something as simple as saying, I need to maintain my point of sale operation during, normal business hours, that kind of thing. It can also be something as complex as saying, hey, I need to hang a 2-ton piece of equipment from this piece of C-channel. Can you help me figure out how to make that happen?
Right.
So it is very broad.
But in the situation like that is versus it sounds like the people in your space that are not Rooster are people who basically just want to do an empty build up, the uncomplicated, which it sounds like that is your goal, is to do challenging projects.
I want to be engaged. I'm a builder. It's hard to find a project that I find genuinely interesting by design anymore. The part about it for me that's the win is I see these things a million times a day. If a house catches on fire, floods, whatever, I'm like, uh-oh, better call insurance. But for the owner, whether you're a business owner or a homeowner, this is all brand new. Even if you've done it 1 or 2 times before, it's fresh for you. And these things have a real impact on your life. So being able to walk with you through that process and give you a level of confidence in me and trust that the product that you are looking for, we're going to help you find it, and then we're going to deliver.
Walk me through your journey to get to where you are. As in, you don't just wake up one day and say, I'm going to be with Rooster General Contracting.
Yeah, about 7 years ago, I was a union guy, and I got laid off right after Christmas. My wife was pregnant. And so I was like, man, where are we going to go? Called up the union hall, and they were like, oh, you could go to Muscle Shoals. And Sophie was like, Sophie's my wife. She's like, I don't want to go to Muscle Shoals. I don't want to be doing this. We need to figure out something that's going to be more consistent. We were in Memphis at the time, so we wanted to be near family. And that led me to leave the trades to pursue being a GC.
Yeah. And then brought you to Texas.
Yes, which led us to DFW, which is, I'm from Fort Worth, born at downtown Harris Hospital.
So it brought you home.
Exactly.
Right. And why Rooster?
So, Rooster it's a very personal name. So I got saved about 8 years ago, and I had a upper respiratory infection last week. So if my voice gets raspy at times, it's gargly a bit, but so I got saved about 8 years ago, and my wife got saved about 7.5 years ago. And I've lived a different kind of life. And I mean, being in the trades, guys are
rough.
Guys are rough, dude. Yep. And so
can be, yeah.
We get into it, and I get into this business, and I'm like, man, no matter what I do, I don't ever want to deny my Savior. And so famously, the night Jesus was arrested, Peter, who, was the rock of his church, said, Lord, I'll follow you even unto death. And Jesus said, I tell you, you're going to deny me 3 times before the rooster crows. I get to look at that rooster every day.
How about that? And now you're home and you're benefiting people. Did you start the business here because you knew people? And I mean, foundationally, talk about the growth you've had in the time because of that.
All of it. And this is going to kind of stay on that vein. I left Fort Worth when I was 7 years old, moved to Austin with my parents, went to high school in Singapore, traveled around Southeast Asia a bit. And then I was a union guy. And so I stretched east to west coast year to year for about 15 years. And so coming back here, you can never go back home. And so what changed for me when I got here was me.
Yeah.
I was a different person. I had a different mindset. I had a different community and everything. And all of my growth and all the support I've received has basically been a response to my willingness to be genuine and vulnerable with people in like a totally neutral way, like just on the table. This is John Ratley. And most of the time people are like, that guy's kind of weird, but it works out and we click, we don't, but it's helped me a ton.
So John, I know you and I are both Plano Chamber members. And that's how the two of I met. And you held a spotlight during the Plano Chamber where you talked about how you benefit younger people, and you have a program for that. Let's talk about that.
So we have a 4-year construction management apprenticeship. It begins with your first 2 years operating as an assistant superintendent. The first year we get you focused on, you want to be acquainted with your team and with your project startup. The second year, we tend to focus more on leadership skills and project closeout. Your third year, you're promoted to a superintendent tier 1. You are given full autonomy on the project, under my direct supervision.
Of course, yeah.
And then in year 4, you're really repeating your third year, but you now have a first year candidate that is under your wing, shadowing you, learning about your project startup and how you communicate with your team.
Stay with us. The Growing Your Business podcast will return right after this.
A woman in Austin was depositing a cashier's check at the bank, but she deposited it right into a storm drain. The frost banker found another way in. Time out! So he went into the hole, like a cave diver.
A real spelunker of the streets.
What about the check?
It's money in the bank.
Ka-ching!
Ka-chang.
Ready to amplify your brand's voice? At Blue Mike Studios, we transform your ideas into captivating podcasts and videos. Whether you're launching your own show or guest starring on ours, we've got you covered. From recording and editing to social media promotion. With state-of-the-art 4K video and crystal clear audio, your content will shine. We offer guest packages on our podcasts and offer segments from the show for you to share. Or let us help you build your own branded podcast with custom strategy, branding, and full production support. Visit BlueMikeStudios.com today and let your voice be heard. Please check our show notes for sponsorship links and additional details. Now, back to the Growing Your Business podcast with Buddy Broyles.
So back to your program, John, for the younger people. How did it start? Imagine one day you were all working together and you decided, okay, we're going to start this thing. Where did the idea come from?
So one of my friends came to me and said, my son needs a job. I think you guys could really click, yada, yada. It just so happened that with our previous company in New England, I had a character that was my shadow, learned everything, rode in the truck with me. And I always looked at him and was like, man, this kid's learning so much. I just don't have anything to offer him that he can put on paper and take with him. By formalizing our process, not only have we set up the means and methods by which we train our staff, but what we've done is we've given Jared and Dee and Khalil and these guys a piece of paper saying, this is our curriculum, this is what we've done. Not only do I have 4 years in construction experience, I've got 4 years as a superintendent under my belt. And these are dudes that have never been to college, don't have any other opportunity.
And now they have something they can frame. They have something to add to, for future opportunities. It gives them the credibility to show that they've stuck with it.
Absolutely.
So what a great opportunity you're making for this people. And because I know you know that I have a business called Visual Learning Solutions, and it's all about training people. And what we found is when you invest in your people, they feel invested in and they do a better job. From your history there, I mean, I know having come up in the business that you've been in, were there opportunities like that before that you witnessed that created this idea for you?
I came up through the United Brotherhood of Carpenters and the United Association of Plumbers, Pipe Fitters, and Mechanical Workers, HVAC technicians. So I've apprenticed with two of the largest trade unions internationally, the UBC's number 2 in America, and also the oldest trade union. But I have a ton of influence from my hands-on experience there. I'm a guy that learned in the field. I suffered through school. I got excused out of trade school most of the time to work overtime. And so it's just my brain. It's how I learn. And so I saw that. And then I was starting to interact with these big companies, big name companies with all these college boys with these degrees that don't have a clue what's going on. Not only do they not understand the trade work, they don't understand how to run a team, and they don't know how to talk to people, which is a really big deal.
Super important. Yeah.
And I'm like, man, the only way you're going to get that is if you're in the dirt with your plumber, digging at 2 a.m., looking for the leak with them. And you're going to do that right next to me and right next to the guy 2 years ahead of you. It's a camaraderie.
That builds a family. That's really terrific. One more question would be, I imagine you've helped a lot of people with this certificate program. Give me an example of someone who really stood out.
And so the one that stands out the most to me is this guy named Jared Michael. He's turned into a great family friend, but all of his soft skills have really started to just blossom and shine, so that all of the raw trade knowledge that he's gained over the last 2.5 years, just over this summer, he was able to demonstrate for a high-rise client of ours in downtown Dallas, step up to the plate, managed every tier of the relationship. I basically didn't have to do anything. I'm just super proud of him.
Wow, to see that growth.
Yeah.
Let's talk about your ideal customer, as in who can you help the most? And I know there's quite a bit of range there, so let's pick an example.
It's a wide variety. It is people with needs. Like one of my favorite customers to this day, and for, their privacy, obviously, I wouldn't mention it, but they were just a super warm, loving family, give of their time to the community and did before they ever bought this house. And when you want to say someone got a lemon, they got a lemon. So I'm like, we worked through design for over a year with them, specifically value engineering their project so that it could both be beautiful and solve all of their structural problems. We finished that job about 15, 16 months ago in Irving. It's still, they're our biggest fans. They cheer for us. They love the work we've done. They give us more referrals than their referrals give us referrals.
Right. Yeah, that's the best compliment, is a good referral.
The ideal customer is someone that you can connect with, find what they really need, and give it to them.
So you like a good challenge. So is that what gets you out of bed in the morning? Like what's, John's waking up, stretching, like what do you get excited about in your business every day?
Man, it is just that. It's the conversations. It's moving the ball forward with people, getting to see someone with a problem and they don't know what to do about it. Something as small as like, I find water intrusion in my home. I cut out drywall, dry it out, seal it up, do it. Blah, blah. I spend a Saturday doing a little bit of work, spend $100 and I'm good. Some people, they don't know what to do. They ignore it. The problem grows. I get to educate people, empower them. I get to give them an opportunity to interact with a contractor that maybe doesn't look and talk the way that they want him to, but they get the real deal. They get someone who's going to be transparent and honest, who's going to look out and be a good steward of their resources.
Yeah. Let's talk about growth over the years. You've been in business for years now. Where do you see Rooster General Contracting in 5 years?
In 5 years, I see us being more refined and slightly bigger. Like any company, we're going to be growth oriented, but we're really focused on teams, processes, and final products. And I'm not interested in taking on more jobs if I'm not confident that my team is going to be able to deliver consistently. So like my focus right now, just like I'm talking to you about different things in business, I'm going and talking to people that know a lot more about staffing than I do, and a lot more about, strategy on, if you were a guy that, like me, is building their business without investors and without debt, then that means you did one house, and then you did 1.5, one more. Yep. Then you got to do 2. And so I'm going and talking to people like that are 20, 30 years ahead of me, and just saying, what do I not see? Yeah.
So let's talk about the best way, someone's listening or watching, best way to reach you.
If you go to our website, we have a project intake form. That would probably be the best.
Excellent. And obviously a referral. If you've been referred to John and his team, then you're in good hands. That's excellent. So just parting thoughts for someone who, I think we're all guilty of this as homeowners, is there's a problem. I see a problem. I see a crack. I see a stain or something like that. There's the fear of, okay, well, if I contact somebody, there goes my money. What would you say to people who are concerned about that?
We have written processes in place that are intended to safeguard both of our interests, to give you confidence that we are not swindling you or selling snake oil, and to give us as a company confidence that we're not giving away free work.
Perfect. Well, John, I appreciate you coming on the show and just sharing your passion for what you do, your journey in life, and all the things you do for others.
Awesome, man. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
This episode was sponsored by Russ Birch, commercial banker with Frost Bank, Plano, Texas. Thank you for joining us today on the Growing Your Business podcast. Please see the show notes for links to our sponsors, our social media, and to learn more about today's guest.